evening, I'm Terry Casey. A couple of police departments in Pinellas County have been caught up in mounting controversy, but for quite different reasons. In Tarpon Springs, some officers charged they were cursed and threatened at a closed-door meeting last week by the chief. In general, he hotly denies that. Some St. Petersburg officers, meantime, met tonight, angry over the city's new one-for-one promotion policy. We've got two reports, the first from St. Petersburg and Pulse 13's Warren Ellie.
If nobody else is going to show up, I was going to let them go on and beat it out.
They came in twos and threes, and early on it seemed the protest might be evaporating. But with a group of 40 to 50, the police officers emerged with some unexpected support.
The police department and the fire department are together in this. All right, we want to act in concert. Second, that the unions of both the police department and the fire department are investigating right now what our legal recourse is.
The objective remains repeal of the one-to-one rule, the idea that for every white promoted in St. Petersburg, a black or a woman must be promoted as well.
A man or a woman will be promoted strictly on race or sex. There's no two ways about it. They've come out and exactly said that's what it is. And if that's not discrimination, I don't know what is.
The police officers and firefighters contend the quality of emergency services will suffer. They say the public must get involved to put pressure on City Hall to back down.
We think that the public is supporting us, and we'd like to see more of it in an active form.
The group denies its efforts are dividing the fire and police departments on racial grounds.
There are quite a few black and female firefighters and policemen that are as much against this as we are.
Where are they tonight?
I don't know where they are tonight, but I can tell you why they are against it, and it's very true. Because they feel that if they ever do get a promotion, people are going to feel the only reason they got it was because they were either female or black and not because they were qualified.
Warren Ellie, Pulse 13, St. Petersburg.
Friday, Pulse 13 reported on a closed-door session of the Tarpon Springs Police Department, headed up and controlled by the police chief Blaine Licouris, this taking place Thursday night. At that time, we reported, and Licouris confirmed that, among other things, he told his officers, quote, "I can be the meanest SOB you've ever seen," unquote. Since that report, Pulse 13 has obtained notes of this session from one of those in attendance. Pulse 13 cannot verify the exact wording of Licouris' remarks. However, 3 Pulse 13 sources do confirm the substance of what he said. All 3 attended the meeting. 11 days ago, Tarpon Springs officer John DeNapis was arrested and charged with a set of 7-year-old allegations involving the sale of a pistol to a local gun dealer by DeNapis, a gun confiscated by the department during an investigation. The DeNapis arrest is part of a probe of city government here by State Attorney James Russell. The notes obtained by Pulse 13 indicate Licouris told his officers that anyone obstructing or interfering with the state attorney's investigation would be put in jail by Licouris. But regarding DeNapis' arrest, the notes indicate Licouris is saying that when he finds out who the expletives deleted are that talk to the state attorney, I'll take care of their expletives deleted one way or the other. The chief admits saying he could be a tough SOB to the men, but denies repeated use of profanity.
I didn't use that type of language.
Licouris declined to get in specifics this afternoon, but voiced his concern about Pulse 13's use of anonymous sources.
And if you'll check your source again, which you won't do, and you're sure the devil won't reveal your source.
I can't do that.
Oh, of course the hell you can't do it. Because then you would revealing, there's your key to your purpose on it. So you're not fairly reporting the whole thing, so I don't care.
What is the key? I don't
You
know.
can shut that thing off because this is interview's coming to a close now because you're looking at one angle.
As we reported on Friday, Pulse 13 did speak with 2 officers in attendance who support Licouris, saying that his remarks were frank but needed. Mike Randall, Pulse 13, Tarpon Springs.
The body of a teenage girl discovered near Tampa's Crosstown Expressway this afternoon has been identified as that of 16-year-old Kathy Lee of Tampa. The body was found by a Seaboard Coastline worker. Police say an autopsy will be conducted to determine the exact cause of death. 4 men convicted of running an interstate slavery ring and holding migrant workers against their wills are in jail tonight. The group, Migrant Crew Chief Willie Warren Sr., his son, Willie Warren Jr., Richard Warren, and Michael Moore. They've been sentenced to a combined 35 years in prison. The fate of a longtime Boy Scout camp in Clearwater has been decided tonight. We'll have that for you coming up. Israeli Prime Minister Begin is calling it quits, but not yet. Some play, but a lot of work aboard the Space Shuttle Challenger. Those stories and a lot more coming up when we come back.
This is the place for the real taste of beer. Pabst is the place. There's just no doubt about it.
There's no other beer that tastes like Pabst. This is beer.
Pabst is the place. Good friends all around you for the real taste of beer and all the good times you have here.
But the only thing you can
count on these days is a good beer.
For the real taste of beer, Pabst is the place.
I think it's letting up out there.
Haven't you taken it on the chin long enough from out-of-state car insurance companies? Universal Casualty is a Florida-based company that provides a kind of rates and service that makes sense for Floridians. In fact, our statistics show that now we can save you 20% off our already low rates. So why not? It's about time Floridians got a fair shake on car insurance.
Call Universal Casualty at 1-800-282-AUTO.
It happens every August, the end of the model year for new truck buyers. The 1984 models are arriving now at your Tampa and St. Petersburg area GMC dealer. So, we want to close out this year's trucks before the new model year begins. You'll find a better selection of these popular 83 GMC trucks in August than if you wait till later. So if you've been waiting to buy a new truck, wait no longer. The GMC Truck End of Model Year Showdown is now at your Tampa and St. Petersburg area GMC dealer. Don't miss it. We want your business.
Here comes Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In with all of your old favorites. The Right On Dan Rowan and the More On lovely Dick Martin. Plus Lily Tomlin.
One ringy-dingy.
Plus Artie Johnson.
Wait till you see my selected shorts.
Busybody Buzzy. Alan Suze and his band.
Tune in next week and hear my ding-dong.
Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In premieres September 19th on Big 13.
Camp Sewell in northern Pinellas County has been the Boy Scouts' home away from home for about 50 years, and it looks as if they may hang on to it a little while longer, much to the relief of scores of Scouts and Scout parents. More from Pulse 13's Maria Rodriguez.
We had 61 votes no, 58 votes yes.
So went the glad reaction to a narrow vote victory in favor of keeping a 100-acre Boy Scout camp on the shore of Lake Chautauqua in Clearwater. The idyllic campground has served the Boy Scouts well over the years and recently became the focal point of a somewhat emotional issue. Developers offered to buy the land for a condo development at a handsome profit, something that seemed like a good idea at first since the Boy Scout Council needed money to pay off debts and develop a bigger camp in Hernando County. But Scout leaders and parents turned out in force tonight to protest the sale.
We need, at all costs, to preserve the little bit of wilderness that we have, whether it's large enough for long-term camping. I'm not here to debate.
If we retain Sewell, we will only appreciate its prime real estate.
And more importantly, perhaps, the Scouts themselves wanted to keep the camp.
I don't think they should sell it.
Why?
Because it's a nice camp, and we'd have to travel farther to go to summer camp to the other place. It has a lot of memories to it because a lot of things have happened there, and they shouldn't sell it.
It's the last thing we have, and it's real fun. We have swimming, archery. We learn a lot of stuff about nature, all that.
In the end, the majority ruled, and even though some spectators were skeptical council officials might find a way to overturn the vote and sell the camp anyway, Council President Bruce Belknap said no, the decision would stand. And so will Camp Sewell. Maria Rodriguez, Pulse 13.
A ceasefire has reportedly been called in Lebanon, putting an end for now anyway to factional fighting there that spread to the heart of Beirut. 5 French soldiers, members of the multinational peacekeeping force, have died in that fighting. U.S. Marines came under attack again today. No American casualties in the 90-minute battle that saw a U.S. helicopter gunship rocket a Muslim stronghold. 2 Marines, though, were killed in fighting yesterday. Israeli Prime Minister Begin's gone along with calls to keep troops in Lebanon. He is not agreeing, though, to stay on as Prime Minister. Begin, reportedly depressed over Israeli casualties in Lebanon and not yet recovered from the death of his wife last November, says he can't go on any longer, and he's written up his resignation. Begin will stay on, though, until there is a successor. Most likely candidates, Foreign Minister Yitzhak Shamir and Deputy Prime Minister David Levy. The military governor of Santiago, Chile, and 2 other men have been killed in a machine gun ambush. They were on their way to work when a group of men in a pickup truck opened fire. The general was retired. He had no concerns with Chile's military operations. The assassins are still free. The crew of the Shuttle Challengers awake for their second day in space. In front of them, the mission's main objective, that being the launch of a $50 million communications satellite for India. Day 1 was a 16-hour workday for the astronauts, working on space sickness, a mysterious ailment several astronauts have complained about. and a first-of-its-kind experiment that could lead to better diabetes treatment. The Challenger's flying right along, and Commander Richard Truly says, in his words, a good time is being had by all. And that's good to hear, too. And tell me something that's going to be good to hear about tomorrow's weather.
Well, I think it will be pretty good. For this time of year, we'll have plenty of sunshine to go around and just a few of those widely scattered thunder showers, maybe a couple in the morning, but most of them in the afternoon. But really nothing too bad for this time of year, Tara. And first off, we're going to look at our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook across the country. In the summer of '83, well, no end in sight to the blistering heat over a good part of the country. This will run from September 5th through the 9th as we get into the final weeks of summer officially, but who knows how long this summer season will last. We're looking for much above normal weather, temperatures over a good part of the central United States, and then above normal elsewhere from the East Coast all the way through the Rocky Mountain states. Normal temperatures over the Northwest and normal temperatures expected along the Gulf Coast. But of course, for this time of year here in Florida and over Texas, that's still very warm. And also over a good part of the country, little or no rainfall expected of any significance. So hot, dry weather for the most part during this time period from September 5th through September 9th. We're looking at current temperatures around the state, and even though we've had a few showers around the Bay Area, things are still rather warm with a 79 at Tampa, 84 at St. Petersburg, although one of our observers over at Oakhurst in Pinellas County just in the past half hour reported over an inch and a half of rain and a rather locally heavy storm there, which is now moving out into the Gulf waters. 81 at Key West, also at Fort Myers, 81, the same being reported at Orlando. Now looking at our satellite view of the southeast, plenty of clouds remaining around the Tampa Bay area over to the interior part of the state and then northward to the Georgia-Florida border, all the result of earlier thunderstorms which are now dissipating. We have an area of unsettled weather over the central Gulf. The National Hurricane Center was a little bit concerned about it earlier in the afternoon. They thought maybe they'd send a reconnaissance plane out tomorrow. But as of this time, no development has taken place, and we'll just have to wait and see what they'll do on that score tomorrow. Now, Channel 13's radar at the present time on its 150-mile range is some dissipating rain near the Tampa Bay area, especially northeast of Tampa, and that one heavier thunderstorm right in here, moving offshore from Indian Rocks Beach out into the Gulf. All the activity slowly decreasing in strength and moving toward the west at about 10 miles an hour.
When I finish work, I can't wait to see what develops.
Turn it loose, turn it loose, turn it loose tonight. Coors Light, turn it loose tonight. Don't hold back, turn it loose tonight. Hey, beer after beer when you're moving around. Coors Light is the one that won't slow you down. Coors Light, don't slow down. Turn it loose, turn it loose.
If you're still lamenting the loss of those muscle cars of the past, take heart. There's a new car that automotive writers have called a blast. Spectacular. Stepping on the gas, they say, is like cutting in an afterburner. It's a car that can blast a V8 right off the road. The car, the Turbo by Volvo. It'll blow the past right out of your mind.
Visit your local Volvo dealer.
There are hundreds of store brands on drugstore shelves, but there's one with such high-quality standards, it comes with a guarantee. Eckerd brand. Like Eckerd brand natural vitamins, they contain no sugar, salt, or preservatives. And this week, Eckerd natural vitamin C tablets with rose hips are just $1.49, and Eckerd brand natural vitamin E capsules just $4.99. If you're ever dissatisfied with an Eckerd brand product, we'll replace it with a comparable national brand, absolutely free. You're going to like Eckerd brand. We guarantee it.
Bill Kowal's weather programs display the seal of approval of the American Meteorological Society.
Well, much-needed rains affected many sections of the Midwest last night and this morning, and at the present time they're over Missouri and portions of Arkansas. Last night the state of Iowa and also Minnesota were hard hit with heavy thunderstorms, giving nearly an inch to 2 inches of rain in many locations, and now that area is moving into the south. Other storms over the western plains and another line of showers along a weak cold front into New England along the Great Lakes. Now a close-up view of the central states. You can see the storms from Arkansas, Mississippi into Tennessee and other storms now going on over Missouri, especially around Joplin, Missouri. There's a rather heavy one underway right now. Now, our winds in the upper atmosphere continues to show a rather large heat wave high over the plain states. We've noticed a little ripple in the wind pattern up over the Great Lakes, and that's just been enough instability to create the showers and thunderstorms, which have now pushed into the Tennessee River Valley tonight. Over our state, just a weak variable pattern. So once the showers and thunder showers develop, they move very little, and that'll be the pattern for the next couple days, just a light variable movement on the showers. Now, looking at what we expect for high temperatures tomorrow across the country, 80s and 70s over the northeast, not too bad. 90s over our neck of the woods, and then 100s over the southern plains and to most of the southwest. Pocket of 90s over the northern plains, elsewhere 80s, and then 80s and 70s over most of the far west. Our surface map right now shows a weak trough of low pressure. That'll just help cause the widely scattered afternoon showers and thunder showers, a weak cold front over the Great Lakes and Midwest. That's setting up the storms we've already seen, and then generally just a weak pressure pattern with a few showers over the northwest. Low across the country, Elk City, Idaho again at 29 for the nation's low, and Yuma, Arizona, 111 for the afternoon high. Right now in the northeast, 73 at New York, Philadelphia, 75 at Chicago. In the southeast, we have 84 at Atlanta, still 87 at Memphis. In the northwest, we have 82 at Boise, 73 at Portland, and the southwest, 89 at El Paso, 87 at Albuquerque, 102 at Phoenix. Right now in Tampa, 77, 84 in St. Petersburg, humidity 83%, and the barometer rising 29.95. Winds now from the east at only about 1 or 2. The winds will be easterly in the morning, westerly and a sea breeze in the afternoon, under 12, seas in the Gulf about 1 to 3 feet. Bay temperature 87, Gulf has slipped to 86 in our forecast. Fair to partly cloudy skies with widely scattered thunder showers through Thursday, low tonight 77, high tomorrow near 90. We may see just a couple along the west coast in the morning, but the bulk of them could occur almost anywhere in the afternoon. So really not too bad at all.
Okay, Bill, thanks a lot.
Sure, Jim.
Legal skirmishes over Florida's 5% tax on airline fuel are still being waged before the state Supreme Court. Lawyers for the state countering claims by foreign airlines that they've been exempted by treaty and that Washington's concerned over the Florida tax. A lower court has agreed with the foreign carriers, and the state is now appealing it. Enough is enough, says Governor Bob Graham, and he wants the State Department of Law Enforcement to get in on the federal crackdown on hijackings. He's trying to get federal agents to meet with state officials this week to work something out. The governor's renewed his call for tighter airport security and talks between the U.S. and Cuba to curb the recent wave of air piracies.
Early in the year, these guys were down here scouting the kids. Now they're back looking for help.
Bring out your best, Budweiser Light. Bring out your best, Budweiser Light.
The best has a taste all its own.
Hey, Bob, you got a minute?
Enjoy it.
Budweiser Light.
What kind of wallpaper will go with a striped couch?
Ask Sherwin-Williams.
Now at the Sherwin-Williams anniversary sale, buy one roll of any take-home wallpaper and get another roll absolutely free. There's a huge selection of brand new 1984 patterns you can find only at your Sherwin-Williams store. They're easy to apply and easy to buy, and the second roll is absolutely free.
Ethel, where's the couch?
Next time.
Ask Sherwin-Williams.
Stars at their dazzling best are yours on the next Entertainment Tonight.
They only know Gucci, Gucci.
We're off to wild and fun-filled Las Vegas as E.T. brings you a personal backstage visit with Chato and a glimpse of her spectacular review. Then Amy Irving is on the rise in Barbra Streisand's new movie, Yettel.
The most important thing to me as a person, as an actress, is to just keep growing.
On Entertainment Tonight.
See it tomorrow night at 7:30 on Big 13.
They're dishing out combat pay for about 150 Dade County teachers who are learning how to teach kids in the inner city schools. Kids growing up in rough situations that makes teaching them a lot rougher. The combat pay amounts to course tuition reimbursement and a yearly stipend for the teachers. Well, as you know, Lakeland played host to the glittering Miss Teen USA pageant tonight, broadcast nationwide by CBS. Maybe you got a chance to see it on Channel 13. And Ruth Zakarian was crowned the winner. She's from New York. Miss Teen Florida, meantime, Laura Erdman of Winter Park didn't fare as well as she'd hoped. But each of the young ladies deserves credit for a lot of hard work. So much work that Laura says it didn't leave much time to even think about competition.
There has not been one moment of thinking about competing here. We've been working on rehearsals. The first week we were here, we did fun tapes and our bathing suit shots and everything like that was pre-recorded the first week. And ever since then, we've been rehearsing.
Tonight's Miss Teen USA contest was the first, and again, congratulations to each one of you young ladies involved. Young-ladies, I don't know about that. And here's a winner right here.
Oh, gee, thanks, Terry. What can I say?
You can say we've got something on the Open coming up, right?
Okay, we've got something on the Open coming up.
Very good.
U.S. Open tennis, and top-seeded John McEnroe got a scare in his opening match at the Open today, but after throwing a couple of tantrums, McEnroe beat Trey Waltke 6-3, 5-7, 4-6, 6-love, 6-1. Tonight, defending champion Jimmy Connors is playing Ramesh Krishnan right now. The biggest upset of the day came when Tim Wilkison stopped number 8 Jose Luis Clare in straight sets. Eric Carita has only been a pro for 2 days, but he knocked off Brian Teacher in 4 sets. Others advancing were Guillermo Vilas, Jimmy Arias, Elliot Telscher, Vitas Gerolaitis, and Mel Purcell. On the women's side, number 7 Sylvia Hanukkah struggled to a 3-set win over Russia's Larisa Savchenko. 8th-seeded Hanna Mandlikova took a straight-set win over Nancy Jurgen. Tonight, Andrea Jaeger beat Betsy Nagelson 6-love, 6-2. And this afternoon, Largo's Bonnie Gadusek stopped Sarasota's Amy Holton. Number 16, Kathy Jordan beat Camille Benjamin in straight sets. And two-time winner Tracy Austin withdrew with a rib stress fracture. And around the majors tonight in the National League, New York and the Dodgers split a twin bill. The Mets won the first game 3-2 as Ron Hodges singled in Hubie Brooks. Orozco picked up the win, but the Dodgers came back to win the nightcap 2-1, so L.A. leads the Braves by a 1.5 games. The Cubs bombed the Braves 9-6. Carmelo Martinez had another home run for the Cubs. He also picked up 4 RBIs. Ron Cey with 3 RBIs and a home run. The Pirates also kept pace in the National League East. They beat Cincinnati 5-3. Jose De Leon, the rookie, had a 2-hitter through 6 innings. Dave Parker had 4 hits on the night. Philadelphia and San Diego playing a twin bill. The Phils won the first 6-0. It was the first Major League shutout of Kevin Gross's career, but San Diego is winning the nightcap 7-2. That game now in the 6th inning. San Francisco blasted Montreal 13-2 to end a 4-game Expo win streak. Dave Bergman had 4 RBIs and 2 home runs. And Houston was a 3-1 winner over the Cardinals. Vern Rule pitched a 3-hitter through 8 1/3 innings, and he also drove in a run with a suicide squeeze. Over in the American League, the Orioles pounded out 15 hits as they blasted Kansas City 12-4. John Lowenstein had 4 of those hits, and the Birds have now won 7 in a row. Milwaukee and Seattle just getting underway. Tom Candiotti going against Jim Beattie in that one. Detroit was a 4-3 winner over the Twins. The Tigers turned 5 double plays. Lance Parrish hit his 21st home run of the year for Detroit. And Chicago's leading Texas 3-0 that game now in the 6th, but it's being held up because of rain. Boston a 5-4 winner over the Blue Jays. Jim Rice drove in Jerry Remy in the 12th inning to win it. Tony Armas hit his 31st homer of the year for the Sox. Cleveland and California just underway. Mike Jeffcoat going against Tommy John. And New York and Oakland also just underway. Guidry going against McCaddy in that one. Florida State League Championship tonight. It's Vero Beach going against Daytona Beach, but unfortunately we have no score to report.
It's TV and Stereo Town's Summer Savings Spree, with huge savings in every department in every TV and Stereo Town store. Name brand TVs, microwaves, car stereos, and audio equipment at the guaranteed lowest price in the state. RCA 8-hour video recorder, $449. Sanyo AM/FM car stereo with cassette, $69. JVC RK11 30 watts AM/FM stereo receiver, $129. Now at all TV and Stereo Town locations.
On the next edition of Our Magazine.
You may not make the same mistakes, but then you move on to different new levels of mistakes you never dreamed of.
Gary Collins explores surviving marriage the second time around.
There's an unbelievable therapy in taking charge of your life.
Plus, how safe are indoor tanning studios, vitamins and pregnancy, and more. We make every hour count.
Our Magazine, tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock on Big 13.
It's Dance Fever, television's hottest variety entertainment show, with host Denny Terrio. Each week, couples compete for fabulous prizes. You'll see them stepping to the beat of the latest country, new wave, and rock, and some dances you've never seen before. Each week, Denny and Motion bring you celebrity judges, top recording acts, and the best amateur dancing couples in the world. Join Denny Saturday at 7. The excitement never stops. Dance Fever. Catch it on Big 13.
The Nebraska Cornhuskers showed they deserved their preseason #1 ranking last night when they smashed Penn State. The Nittany Lions were tops last year, but they were bombed 44-6. But Husker coach Tom Osborne isn't too concerned with numbers right now.
I think anytime you're rated #1, people try real hard to beat you. And I think most coaches would like to be rated up in there somewhere and probably prefer not to be rated #1 because it's a hard place to stay. And I think, as I intimated earlier, ratings at this point to me are like throwing darts.
There are bound to be a lot of changes after the current Rowdy season ends. The new owners will make decisions about who'll stay and who'll be going, so a lot of players really aren't too sure if they'll be around next year. Peter Barelich is one player whose situation is uncertain. Well, unfortunately, we don't have that tape, but Barelich said that he's not really sure if he's around, if he will be around, but if the Rowdies don't pick him up, he'll go back to the MISL and play for Baltimore, who just barely lost out in the MISL championship last year. Checking wrestling results from the Armory tonight, Dusty Rhodes and Barry Windham took on Cowboy Ron Bass and Joe LeDuc, but there was a double disqualification as both Dusty Rhodes and Cowboy Ron Bass were thrown out. Angelo Mosca beat Elijah Akeem. Kareem Muhammad in the Purple Haze down Mike Graham and Scott McGee, Charlie Cook and Kevin Sullivan. It was Kevin Sullivan winning that one. And the Italian Stallion and Yoshiatsu fought to a 15-minute draw in that first match. And we're going to go back to Peter Barelich now talking about his situation with the Rowdies.
I love to stay in this area and in this city, but doesn't depend much on me because I don't know what's going to be with the whole situation, with me, with the team, with new owners, with everything, and nobody knows in team what makes a lot of players insecure in this situation. But as I said, we have to do business in Fort Lauderdale tomorrow night and Saturday night against Tulsa. Doesn't matter what you feel, what you think about situation. You have to play your the best games.
Is it tough to go out there for each game now?
It is. Not only now. We had some kind of problems lately, maybe a month ago and more. But we are soccer players who play soccer games when you're winning and when you're losing too.
And Sarasota Kennel Club, the 3-1, paid $55 even. And Terry Mark Dixon of Tampa also was a first-round winner at the Open today.
Good to hear. Carol, thanks a lot.
You bet.
There were 6 of them in reality, but to the world and to their fans, they were 3. The Three Stooges. Who else? Today, one of the largest crowds ever was on hand for the unveiling of a star honoring the comedy team on Hollywood's Walk of Fame. Only 2 of the Stooges are still alive, Joe Besser, Curly Joe DeRita. Only Besser, though, could attend the ceremony, and he called his days as one of the Stooges the highlight of his career. And that's Pulse 13 for tonight. Benny Hill next, then the movie. For Carol and Bill, I'm Terry Casey. Have a good night.